They say time heals everything, but in Cameroon time stood still. A nation once filled with songs of freedom now hums in whispers. In the heart of Africa lies a story of silence, a silence so deep it swallowed dreams whole. A silence guarded by fear, protected by power, and wrapped in the image of one man. His name, Paul Biya. To the world, he's a calm, well-dressed gentleman. To his people, he's both a ghost and a shadow, a memory that refuses to fade. He became president in 1982, when the world was young, when cassette tapes ruled the airwaves and men dreamed of revolutions. Decades later, phones have become our new televisions, but the same man still sits on the same throne. How does a man stay in power for more than 40 years? How does a voice keep echoing when the people have stopped clapping? Maybe it's not just power. Maybe it's something deeper, a kind of magic that binds a nation's destiny to one chair. They said he brought stability. They said he brought peace. But peace without justice is silence with makeup on. And Cameroon's silence is loud, too loud to ignore. Elections come and go like seasons. The results are already written before the story begins. In 2025, the world watched again as Paul Biya, now 92 years old, was declared the winner. 53% of the votes, they said. Another term, they said. But the streets said nothing. Not because they agreed, but because they were tired. Tired of fighting battles that lead nowhere. Tired of hopping in a system that no longer listens. There are those who say he left power long ago, that others rule in his name. A hidden council, faceless men in expensive suits. They call it state capture. They call it a nation held hostage. Some whisper that Cameroon was captured not by one man, but by an idea, the idea that power is eternal, that thrones are not meant to be empty. And behind the curtains, they say, stand those who love control more than peace. They package him, present him, parade him. A man who should be resting, yet remains the face of authority. The world sees him wave, but the people know the hands that move the nation may not be his. Still, he remains the symbol, the teacher of the art of staying, the master of quiet power, the architect of longevity. In 2008, when others dreamed of new beginnings, Biya dreamed of forever. He erased the presidential term limit, like deleting a line from history. No more limits, no more time, just power indefinite and unquestioned. And with every passing year, Cameroon's heartbeat slows a little more. The roads crumble, the youth flee, the poor become poets of pain. But the system stands, unshaken, unbothered, unmoved. There was a time when people believed change would come through the ballot box. But in a place where the ink is owned by the same hand that counts the votes, what is democracy but theater? Even the young ones, those who never knew another president, have learned to live with it. To them, leadership is not a competition. It's a curse that never changes names. They joke about it. They laugh through the pain. Because laughter is the last form of rebellion that can't be jailed. Power, when it stays too long, begins to rot. At first, it smells like perfume, order, control, stability. But over time, it stinks of fear. And fear is the perfume of dictatorship. Cameroon learned to live with it. Not because they wanted to, but because resistance became expensive. In this land, even the walls have ears, and whispers travel faster than light. To speak against power is to sign a silent contract with danger. Many learned to fold their voices into prayer. They say God will fix it, because speaking against the throne could fix you. Journalists disappeared. Opposition leaders suddenly lost their courage or their freedom. And the people, they learned the art of surviving without asking questions. Because in Cameroon, questions are bullets that never miss. He sits on that chair, but the chair is bigger than him. It's not about one man anymore, it's about a system. A system that feeds on silence, fueled by foreign interest. France, the old friend that never left. They say France smiles in public and signs in private, keeping its hand on the plug that powers the palace. And as long as Cameroon stays quiet, the oil keeps flowing, the contracts keep signing, and the world keeps pretending. Biya became more than a man, he became a legend of survival. He ruled from afar, sometimes from hotels in Geneva, while the people ruled themselves through prayer and patience. The ministers spoke, the police acted, the military watched. And somewhere between the lies and the loyalty, Cameroon forgot what freedom felt like. There's a story told among the old that once upon a time, a young soldier dared to dream of change. He stood tall, spoke bold, and the next day, his voice became a rumor. That's how fear became law. Not written in books, but tattooed in every heart. And yet hope never really dies. It hides in the music and the jokes, in the dreams of the youth. The young ones, tired of waiting, looked at the world and said, "Why not us?" They saw stars become presidents, actors become leaders, footballers rewrite destinies. If Eto'o could stand tall and shake the football federation, why couldn't the people shake the system? But power doesn't fall with noise, it falls with cracks. Tiny cracks, invisible at first. Cracks in loyalty, cracks in faith, cracks in the illusion. And Cameroon, though silent, is cracking. They say you can't fool everyone forever. Even the strongest empire fades when its foundation becomes dust. And this one, this empire of silence, is slowly crumbling. Behind the cameras, the truth trembles. Behind the smiles, the fear multiplies. Because even the guards know time is running out. Every new term feels like an echo of the last. Every speech a repeat. Every promise a copy of an old lie wrapped in new words. The people don't even watch anymore. They just nod, scroll, and move on. That's how tyranny wins, not by guns, but by exhaustion. But still, there's something in the air. A sense that maybe, just maybe, this time could be different. That one spark, one voice, one act of defiance could change everything. They say Cameroon is peaceful. But peace without freedom is sleep without dreams. And for too long, the nation has been asleep. A long nap under the weight of one name. When a nation forgets its voice, who speaks for the people and who silences them. If you lived in Cameroon today, would you dare speak up or stay quiet to survive? Watch out for part 2 of Biya's story.